Hey guys, it's Mackie here, and we're back on our second video on some tips and tricks on how you can develop and improve your basic writing skills. Now, first of all, I would like to thank you guys for supporting our last video. I do hope that you got something on why you should learn some basic tips and tricks on how you can develop and improve your basic writing skills. And also, I do hope that you can stick with me all throughout this series of videos that I'll be putting out so that you can learn a thing or two about basic writing. So, on our second video, I will be going back to the basic and let's try to correct some common mistakes that we usually commit when we are writing. As I have mentioned on my last video, I am not a master of this craft. I don't know everything about the ins and outs of grammar. Should you feel like you need to clarify something or do your own research, you are free to do so just to make sure that what you're learning from me or what you're getting from me is correct. And also, I just want to put up a disclaimer that I'm not an English teacher, so I will not be able to elaborate and discuss the technicalities of grammar and the English language, but I'll be relying more on my experience and my limited knowledge on English and basic writing, and that's what I'll be teaching you. Every once in a while, I'll be looking at my list here because I don't memorize them all and I tend to really forget things. Alright, I'm not good at memorization. Alright, so the first one here on our list of the 10 common mistakes committed when doing writing is spelling and punctuation. Now, you may say that these are just minor things and as long as maintindihan tayo ng imong reader, it doesn't matter. But actually, these small things that we take for granted when we write can actually contribute to the overall success or the overall failure of our output that is based on how we write it. So as early as now, when you're watching this video and when you're trying to learn basic writing, I should highly recommend that you be very cautious on your spelling and punctuation. Why should you learn how to spell correctly and how to put the right punctuation at the right place? Let's put it this way. Reading is like riding a vehicle. And every time you commit a mistake, whether it's spelling or punctuation, it's like a hump in the road. It distracts you. It breaks the suspension of disbelief for your readers. So that's why you need to at least improve your spelling and also know what punctuation mark to put where. Let's go first to spelling. Now, I have listed here 3 things or 3 tips that you can do to improve your spelling. And the very first one is for you to read. Yes, you heard me right, dapat magbasa gid ikaw. You should be able to familiarize yourselves with the spelling of words. And you can do that by really reading a lot of books. Now, if you are not that kind of person that reads a lot, the second tip that I'll be giving you is to have a dictionary. When you are writing something, a dictionary would come very handy when you are trying to clarify or when you want to check the right spelling of the word that you want to use. In order for you to learn from using the dictionary, you should get yourself familiar with the words you are checking. For example, you are trying to spell accommodation. You get the dictionary, you look it up, okay, this is a spelling. Get yourself familiar with the spelling so that the next time you'll be needing to spell that word, you don't need a dictionary anymore. And that leads me to the third tip on how you can improve your spelling. Well, we have the autocorrect feature in our gadgets, in our mobile phones, or in our laptops, and that comes very handy as well. But I don't really recommend that you get yourself very dependent on autocorrect because what if you are writing with a pen and paper? Of course, you can't autocorrect yourself with that. So, the same with dictionary, what you can do is if your gadget autocorrects a word, get yourself familiar with the right spelling so the next time you'll be needing to spell that word, you don't need the autocorrect feature anymore. So that's how you improve your spelling. Next, with punctuation, so what are the basic functions of punctuation marks? Now, punctuation marks help you convey the message in the right way, and it also provides the necessary pauses for breathing and for emphasis. Of course, hindi naman gusto nga after one long sentence, your reader is out of breath because you forgot to put a period or a comma in that one sentence. You should really try to master punctuation, where to put it, when to use it. Now, I have compiled here 4 basic punctuation marks. And let's start with period. Of course, we all know periods are placed at the end of each sentence. We all know that. Or if you don't know that, now you know. Now, comma, this is quite tricky because it has several functions. Now, the first function of a comma is to separate items that you are enumerating. For example, you are enumerating your top 3 favorite movies. Of course, you'll place a comma after each item that you are saying or after each movie that you are mentioning. Next, comma is used to separate 2 independent clauses or 2 independent thoughts in one sentence. Now, if you want to put 2 independent clauses or 2 independent thoughts in one sentence, maybe perhaps for emphasis or for momentum, that is okay. As long as maplastar mo ta na in the right way or as long as you use the right punctuation marks. Comma is used after the introductory phrase or clause in a sentence. For example, when I was a kid, comma, I used to love dancing. So that's how you use it. And for common phrases, for example, I love you, comma, too. I miss you, comma, too. And when you say happy birthday, comma, Mackie. That's how you use comma. And the last function of comma, it is usually paired with quotation marks when you are directly quoting someone. For example, quotation mark, when I was a kid, I used to love dancing, comma, quotation mark, said Marie. So, common misconception or common mistake is that you place the comma outside of the quotation mark, which is wrong. You should be placing the comma inside the quotation mark unless you are using quotation marks to enumerate something. For example, so you should know where to place the comma when it is paired with a quotation mark, whether it should be inside or whether it should be outside. Since we are discussing commas, let me take this opportunity to introduce you to one of the common mistakes or one of the common things that we don't know or people don't know about punctuation marks. Let me introduce you to Oxford comma. Now, what is Oxford comma and where do we use it? Oxford comma is used in between the last item that you are enumerating and the second to the last. For example, my top 3 favorite movies are Mean Girls, comma, Harry Potter, Oxford comma, and Tinkerbell. What happens when we don't use Oxford comma? Actually, it could change the entire meaning of the sentence. If you don't use Oxford comma, my top 3 favorite movies are Mean Girls, comma, Harry Potter, and Tinkerbell. It seems like Harry Potter and Tinkerbell are used to describe or are included in what is Mean Girls. That's the way to put it. That's the best explanation I can offer as to why you should need Oxford comma. So just use it. Some would say it's optional, but I would highly recommend that you use Oxford comma because it could really save you the potential of your sentence being misinterpreted. Alright, so just use Oxford comma. Use it, use it. Alright, so the third punctuation mark that we can discuss right now is the function of the colon, which is used if you want to enumerate a lot of things. So for example, the colors of the rainbow are the following, colon, and that's when you enumerate the things. Simple as that. That's the basic function of colon. The next one, or the last basic punctuation mark that we'll be discussing right now is the semicolon. So just a quick tip. For example, you have 3 clauses in one sentence, but you are really determined to put that in one sentence. You can do that by putting the right punctuation marks, for example, comma or semicolon. But for longer sentences, what I highly advise is for you to separate them in semicolon rather than the comma. Three clauses in one sentence could mean that these clauses or these thoughts have strong relationships with each other that you cannot afford to separate them into three separate sentences.